This beautiful replica 12-pound Napoleon Civil War cannon to set the stage right here in historical Missouri. And we about to get into it. It's going to be a fun-filled vlog, so you guys stay tuned. Let's get it. Good afternoon, good people. This is P9 coming at you guys with another vlog, and I am in the city of New Madrid, Missouri, right on the Mississippi River, located in the southeastern part of the state of Missouri, or for the Spanish people out there, Nuevo Madrid. New Madrid is located in New Madrid County, which functions as the county seat, and as of the 2020 census has a population of 2,787 residents. So New Madrid is a very interesting small city with a lot of history, especially considering the fact that it was the epicenter of a very powerful series of earthquakes that took place between 1811 and 1812, called the New Madrid earthquakes. And there's an invisible fault line in New Madrid around the area. And me personally, I had no idea before doing my research that earthquakes occurred that had such high magnitude in either the South or the Midwest. I thought it was just a California thing, and California's fault lines are visible. But this fault line here in New Madrid is invisible. And we stand right outside here, New Madrid County Courthouse. As you can see right there, erected 1854. Here's a marker with Harry S. Truman's name on it. He was president of the United States in 1945 to 1953 and U.S. senator in 1935 to 1945. And Harry S. Truman delivered campaign speeches at the courthouse during his Senate campaigns in 1934 and 1940. And the 1934 campaign was opened in southeast Missouri, and New Madrid was one of the early campaign stops. In his 1934 speech, Truman developed the themes that would later position him as a leader in the Democratic Party, championing the farmers, workers, and the New Deal policies of the Roosevelt administration. So his campaign speech right here declared that the national defense would be his priority, and Truman's second Senate nomination was supported by New Madrid County Prosecuting Attorney J.V. Conran, who proved to be a strong ally in the very close Senate primary race. I'm deeply affected that the good people of part of Missouri most remote from my hometown did me such a singular honor, Truman said. So shout out to Harry S. Truman. He basically kept the New Deal policies that helped farmers. And of course, we know that's real big, especially in a state as rural as Missouri is. But yeah, so right here is information pertaining to this 1854 courthouse, and it just shows some sketches of when it was architected. It's a drawing, and it's the only known full sketch of the 1854 courthouse. It was sketched in 1871 by A.R. Wald of Harper's Weekly. A.R. Wald of Harper's Weekly sketched this, and Harper's Weekly, of course, was a major publication back during that time. So so basically AR Wall had a lot of exposure, and it was under the supervision of TJO Morrison, and it was a wooden frame building which was 45 by 60 feet and had a central courtroom. But because it was due to its location near the Mississippi River, the building was moved from its original location on Jefferson, which is now Main Street, and it was moved to its final location, which we are at right near at Power and Wiley Streets. So right here is where it was relocated to, due to the fact that it was too close to the river and made it very flood proof. But you know, yeah, it was very historical. There was a siege at New Madrid. It took place in March in 1862, where the Confederates built an artillery and military occupation. And this is the new courthouse right here, which was constructed in 1915. And they had a dedication ceremony for it in 1919. Excuse me. And here's the architecture. Shows the interior stained glass. So they have a rotunda, interior stained glass, which was common for a lot of courthouses during the 1800s. They had that stained glass stained glass ceilings. And here's just some more information about New Madrid. It was a growing state, but a shrinking county. When established in 1789, New Madrid was one of a handful of settlements in the Spanish territory west of the Mississippi River. First as a district and later as a county, the New Madrid jurisdiction extended as far south to the northern border of Louisiana and west to the present-day Kansas. So under Spanish rule, New Madrid had a post commander, but no court system, and defendants had to be taken to New Orleans for trial. Wow, that's a long way. And here's a timeline of Missouri as it was under, Spanish rule and French rule as well. There was treaty signed when France agreed to sell Louisiana to the U.S. for the $15 million. And I believe that's the Missouri Compromise, if I'm not mistaken. And there goes 1789. So it's a timeline right here. I'm not going to read it all, but you guys get the idea. 1821, Missouri becomes a 24th state, and there were new boundaries set up. So, yeah. Very interesting information right there. Look at that Mustang right there, guys. It's like a lime green colored Mustang. Well, actually, it's more like an olive green. It's really sick, though. It's a really nice, really dope color for that Mustang. As we commence through downtown New Madrid, Richard's Funeral Home right here. Established 1894. We have an insurance building over there. Attorney at law. Lawrence Ross, attorney at law. The Corsage shop. Wind's blowing pretty hard. I don't think it's going to rain. I didn't see rain in the forecast for today. That'll be more like tomorrow. LMC accounting and tax. You have an H&R Block over there as well. So a couple of tax services right here in the core of New Madrid. They're actually in the process of building something right here at the corner of Main and Mill Street. They're actually constructing a building. See the construction right here. Goes the library, New Madrid Memorial Library. And there goes the post office over there as well, the local post office. And so again, there goes the Memorial Library. And what looks like, it looks like an abandoned house right there. Sits right across from the post office. Just a little part of Mill Street. Over here on Powell Street in New Madrid. And first thing I see right here is the Immaculate Conception Catholic School. So very historic landmark right here. So of course, yes, being that, you know, New Madrid at one point in time was under the Spanish rule, there will be Catholic, that it makes sense that it will be a Catholic school here. And check this out. This is the replica of the grotto of Our Lady of Lourdes. As you can see right here. Really nice sculpture, monument, accompanied by these flowers, this array of flowers. Really nice. But just to get some context, this replica of the grotto of Our Lady of Lourdes depicts the apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary to the schoolgirl Bernadette in Lourdes, France. I am the Immaculate Conception. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with Virgin Mary and the Immaculate Conception in the Bible. Grotto dedicated on October 15th, 1939, on the sesquicentennial celebration of the founding of the Catholic Church in New Madrid. Wow, so very interesting sculpture right there. Very interesting history as well. And they even have a bunch of bricks right here dedicated to a multitude of families, memory of different individuals. So that's really cool. Really nice setup right here. What this is over here. I think this is is either a different church building or it's part of the same cluster of Catholic churches. But this right here, it's a nice sculpture. Angel kneeling down to pray, and with the angel wings, in loving memory of Linda Spittler. R.I.P. to Linda Spittler. This sculpture is dedicated in her memory. And by the way, this is at the rear of the New Madrid courthouse, as you can see right there. So Powell Street, the rear of the courthouse is on Powell Street. And yes, this is indeed the Catholic Church of the Immaculate Conception, established 1789, where they have mass on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and on Sundays at 11 a.m. So this is the Catholic Church. Pretty cool to highlight the culture right here in New Madrid. Here on Main Street, the out of Main Street. Looks like some abandoned storefronts right here in this building. So look, you have an abandoned storefront, so completely abandoned building, as a matter of fact, right here. And a building that is under construction. So I believe this is going to be the city hall. This is going to be City Hall for New Madrid, under construction. So they're building a modern city hall, new city hall. That's pretty cool. They have this Veterans Park right here. Check it out, shall we? You know, I'm always interested in seeing how they honor the vets in these different cities and towns. John and Phyllis Westcoat, John Buck Westcoat, a World War II vet, and Virgil White Westcoat, Korean War vet. Salute to them. Salute to them. And you have this sculpture right here. And it says, all gave some gave all, dedicated to the memory of all proudly served and protected their country. So all the soldiers who served in the different branches, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard, and the Marines as well. Salute to you guys. So really nicely designed Veterans Park right here. Looks like it was, don't look like it's been up that long. Like they just developed this area or developed this park not too long ago. You have that monument right here. Really nicely designed. Then you have the names of several veterans who served from New Madrid. Different, you know, it talks about the different branches that they served in, as well as the conflicts that they served in. It's really nicely done. Nicely landscaped park right here, Veterans Park. We shall remember while the light lives, yet in the nighttime we shall not forget. Dedicated to the men and women who have served our country. Shouts out again to the soldiers. Different stones in memory of Thomas Lawfield Jr., in honor of Thomas Lawfield Jr., in memory of Vermont Monty Johnson, George Kimbrell Streeter, Thomas Eugene Streeter. By the families of Scott and Pam Riley, Ronnie and Monica May, Annette Johnson. And this one was donated by Bill and Brenda Henry in honor of those who served. Of course, you have the flags. You got the Missouri State flag on the far left. You got the American flag right there. And the POW flag right over there. And a couple of more benches. This one's in memory of William Bill David Laval. R.I.P. to him, your family, Glodine, David, John, and Anna Marie. Nice tribute. Here's the sculpture of the soldier holding his rifle in the midst of combat, it looks like. Honor of the Vietnam veterans. Of course, the American flag in the background. And you have Robert Lane Lavelle, World War II vet, and there goes his family who dedicated this bench to him. Virginia, Charles, Bill, Bob, Kathy, and Mark. So shouts out to the Lavelle family for honoring Mr. Lavelle. And there goes a bunch of bricks of those who sponsored, I guess, donated bricks and sponsored this Veterans Park. Again, it looks relatively new. It looks like based off of the landscape and design and, you know, the sculptures and everything like that look very modern. And by the way, New Madrid was established in 1783. So this is an old, extremely old city. 240 plus years. And this is in memory of Sergeant Elmer L. Buck Bond Jr., World War II vet. His family, Kathy, Harry, and Matthew Greenmore. And last but not least, we're gonna get this right here. First Lieutenant Amos Camden Riley Bach of the U.S. Military Academy, killed in action, Baghdad, Iraq in October 2006. So salute and RIP to First Lieutenant Bach. And, you know, have to highlight this fountain right here that was dedicated in memory of AC Dub Riley by his family. So all in all, really nice military park right here at the core of New Madrid. Some more abandoned storefronts over here across from the Veterans Park as we continue our walk through downtown New Madrid en route to the Mississippi riverfront. So you guys stay tuned. If you made it this far, you're in for a real treat here pretty soon. The Boot Hill in-home pediatrics VA. Okay, so it's a healthcare facility right there. Really nice. And they have what's called the Higgerson Landing Gift Shop, Visitor Center, and Museum. Okay. So they have a visitor center and museum giving New Madrid's stature as a historical town on the Mississippi River. Goes a banner also, New Madrid, 1783. And right here, you have the Higgerson School historical site. CSAA landmark schoolhouse. And this building was established in 1930, purchased from John Eddie Higgerson. It was destroyed by fire in 1940, but it was replaced by this building. So the original building was replaced with this building in 1940. The school closed down in 1967, and it moved to this site June 1997 and dedicated as a historic site in 1988. And this is the fence around it as well. So this landmark was actually once upon a time a school right here in the town. And it was relocated to this plot of land right here in downtown. And down this way they have, that's the fire station on the left. And they also have over here the Bank of New Madrid right here in this big building with the green siding on it, the awnings, or whatever you want to call it. But this is the Bank of New Madrid. And that right there is the historic Dixie Theater. This was originally opened in 1935, and it was converted from a hotel building, and it has the Art Deco features that you typically see on old historical theaters from that time period, the early to mid 20th century. So that's cool that they have that theater still open. And this was the old City Hall building right here. As you can see, this old City Hall building for New Madrid, built in 1904. And they even have the information for everybody who was on the council during that time, the alderman, the marshal, and the mayor at that time, Welton O'Bannon. Okay, so that's good that they preserved this building. Now this looks like this might have possibly has record on it. So this might have either been where they kept the historical records, or maybe this was a publication, but it says established 1866. So that was shortly after the Civil War. Family Matters, River City Insurance. Bella Dia Salon and Boutique right over there. Oh, you guys probably hear that wind blowing. But drop in the comment section if you guys knew about earthquakes that once upon a time took place in Missouri of a high magnitude, a series of earthquakes, because I sure didn't know. And it says right here, it's our fault, alluding to New Madrid's location on not only the Mississippi River, but on an invisible fault line. And there goes they have a historical museum for New Madrid. I'm sure in that museum, they document the history, and I'm pretty sure they document extensively the earthquakes, and also basically the history as it pertains to France and Spain fighting over control of this territory. Now this right here is a replica 12-pound Napoleon Civil War cannon donated by Ken and Janelle Birch in honor of Robert and Ruth Birch, JB and Melba Horton, David Patterson, and Karen Horton. So shout out to Ken and Janelle Birch for donating this replica 12-pound Civil War cannon. So basically just to highlight the Civil War history. And as you can see right here, these wooden structures. I wonder what this thing is right here. It's a very interesting looking object right here. Not quite sure what this functioned as. See if I can get some information real quick. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Donated by the New Madrid Historical Museum. So it must be these cannonballs right here. And it also says donated by the River Bend Botanical Society. And I forgot to mention New Madrid, as you can see displayed on this engraving, is actually located at a bend in the Mississippi River. So maybe we'll be able to point it out when we get a physical look at the river. And this is information on the Battle of Island Number 10, where in February 1862, General John Pope concentrated an army in southeast Missouri for the purpose of capturing New Madrid and Island Number 10. Federal troops cut a channel 12 miles long to bypass Island Number 10. Transports and smaller boats were taken through this canal, while two large gunboats under cover of darkness ran the batteries of the island. So this was a location basically where Confederate forces had evacuated, and they end up marching down to Tiptonville, Tennessee. I'm over here by the Mississippi River, finally made it over here after the walk through downtown New Madrid. This is where the bend is in the river of the mighty Mississippi. And we're actually, as you can see right here, are standing right on the New Madrid fault line. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now they said it is, you know, it's an invisible fault line, so I'm guessing they making an estimation. But here's a marker that explains in detail New Madrid as far as its history. First American town in Missouri, founded in 1789 by George Morgan, Princeton graduate and Indian trader on the site of Francois and Joseph Lesueur's trading settlement. L'Anse à la Gracie, flood and carving banks have destroyed the first town site. Named for Madrid, Spain, the town was to be an American colony. Morgan was promised 15 million acres by the Spanish ambassador, eager to check U.S. expansion with large land grants. Spain did not confirm this land grant, but gave land to colonists, and Morgan left, but had started American immigration to Missouri. Now, French and American settlers contributed to town growth. Here were founded a Catholic church in 1789 and a Methodist church in 1810, and here was the southern extent of El Camino Real, or King's Highway. So the Boot Hill counties included a strip of New Madrid and are said to be part of the Missouri thorough efforts of J.H. Walker, planter at Little Prairie. In Caruthersville, Pemiscot County, and in nearby Mississippi County is Big Oak Tree State Park, a notable hardwood forest. So something that really stood out to me was that this New Madrid was going to be a colony. It was going to be a colony, which meant that it possibly could have been a state. It could have been one of the 50 states. And the New Madrid earthquake made up of a series of monstrous and lesser shocks, which began December 16, 1811, and continued over a year. Centered here, one of the great earthquakes of the world because of severity and length, it caused little loss of life in a thinly settled region. Some of the shocks were felt as far as 1,100 miles. Reelfoot Lake across the river is a result of the disaster. New Madrid land certificates, good for public land elsewhere, were provided sufferers by U.S. Relief Act 1815, which benefited mostly speculators. And Union forces in 1862 captured New Madrid and by means of a canal sawed through and submerged forests to a bayou, gained control of island number 10 and command of the river. So New Madrid at one point in time had 5 Spanish districts, and later one of Missouri's first 5 counties, which now serves as a farming community. And cotton and soybean were the major crops that were predominant. So of course the rivers, they help facilitate the growth and the cultivation of crops. But yeah, so apparently I guess the earthquakes might not have been as severe as I thought they were initially when I read it, because it looks like it wasn't really much casualties as a result. But yeah, right here on the riverfront, it's a beautiful afternoon, beautiful June afternoon here. And just look at this river, just look at this riverfront. So again, this is at the bend of the Mississippi. You guys can see here. And here goes one of those red knob binoculars, as you can get a good view of the Mississippi. I can't see anything out of it, so you probably have to put a quarter in there or something. You probably have to put, or unless I turn it around, it might. There we go. Now I can see. Yeah, there you go. I can see the distant view. Yo. And of course, I like the wind. I love the wind and the rustling of the waters. It sounds so peaceful. And here goes a view from the riverfront of New Madrid. Here's another marker with a ton of information. There goes General John Pope right there. Brigadier General W.W. Mackle. And there goes a image of the attack on island number 10 by Commodore Foote's flotilla. So it was a floating boat that delivered the blow right here on the Mississippi River. There was 10 campaigns. One of them was to cross the river and take over Tiptonville, which is across the state lines in Tennessee. And Confederates take Columbus, Kentucky, which is, I believe that's up on the Mississippi River as well. And there was blockades of the Mississippi River. There goes a picture or a map of where New Madrid is on the Mississippi River and where these blockades and sieges took place. There was a siege also of New Madrid by Union General John Pope, who was stationed in central Missouri and placed in command of a 20,000 man army of the Mississippi in order to advance on island number 10. So there were, these rivers basically served as supply lines and also as a defense line to keep other forces from coming in. So it prevented, these advances from the opposing forces, like the Confederate. It also looks like you have where you can walk down there. So all in all, so far, nice structure, nice view of the river, very historical town that I really recently just found out about. I had no idea New Madrid even existed. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, this might be the first time you guys heard about it. But yeah, let's continue. Just had to get another look at the river. Let's cross over here to the side of New Madrid's Historical Museum. As y'all know, I love me a good mural. And here goes the mural on the side of the building. Very colorful. It illustrates historic New Madrid, which was founded 1783. And right here, Victoria Hutchinson has Victoria Hutchinson's name. So Victoria Hutchinson is the artist of this beautiful mural. That's her Instagram tag right there at Victoria Hutchinson Art. Go check out the portfolio, check out the work. But Victoria did a really great job illustrating the history. You can see there goes, it looks like a railroad locomotive possibly. And then it has the Great Quakes, 1811 to 1812. Very infamous moment in the history of New Madrid. Again, there goes the museum. This museum and its historical annex was dedicated December 3rd, 1991. B.J. Rooker Sr., General Contractor. Virginia Carlson, Executive Secretary. Again, there goes the entrance. Let me walk around this tree right here. Yeah, very nice. Nice flowers too. Nice bed of flowers. Which is where I will end this vlog right here in historical New Madrid. I'd like to thank everybody for rocking with me. And if you made it this far in the video, make sure you tap that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you tap that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you hit that bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified every time I drop a new vlog or live stream. With that in mind, this is P9 coming at you guys again with another vlog. And thanks for tuning in. Peace.